Well, it's battle time, folks. It's Avengers versus X-Men. You mentioned today, Evan, that we've done 2 versions of Avengers versus X-Men already.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the core one we did, which was Avengers versus X-Men at one point. What was this? What was the other version?
I think we did, if I'm not mistaken, West Coast Avengers versus X-Force.
Oh, okay. All right. Now that's making sense. So we were kind of on the fence, like, well, do we need to do another AVX? And if we do, are we pushing the limits here? Is it not? Should we maybe actually consider we're going back to that well too much? So I'm like, no.
Or you could have let me be the X-Men once.
Nope. Not happening. Nope. No. We made a decision. We were like, no, let's go ahead and we're going to do AVX, but we're doing Villains Edition. So every card in our deck is going to be a villain of either the Avengers or a villain of the X-Men. And I told Evan, I said, I'm going to be X-Men. So all of the cards in my deck should be villains of the X-Men. And of course, Evan's going to have the villains of the Avengers here. And I was kind of struggling. I have one card, well, actually a few of these cards in here. I don't think they're going to go together very well.
One of mine is in here primarily because it works so well with another card, but I Googled and I found evidence to back up that this person has fought the Avengers more than once.
Okay. All right.
Okay. The first location we have is the Bifrost. After turn 4, everything is going to move 1 location to the right.
To the right.
And neither of us played anything on turn 1. Turn 2, we have Westview, which will turn into a new location on turn 4.
Okay. Well, classic X-Men villain coming out right now.
I have the Collector and the Sentinel from Jesse on Westview. Yeah. And I have the Collector on the unrevealed 3rd location. We'll get into our justifications afterward.
Do my best.
And you will question this next one, but I am very confident of his presence in this.
Okay. All right. This is going to be an interesting
Asteroid M is the 3rd location. Jesse has Polaris on the Bifrost. Yeah, well, I guess she's fought the X-Men a time or two. She got yoinked over to Asteroid M, and I've got Agent Coulson on Asteroid M.
Okay. All right. Yep. I'm going to have to ask for an explanation here later. That is for sure.
And Westview has turned into nowhere, so on-reveal effects do not happen at this location. We've got the Collector up to a 4 with the 2 cards Coulson added to my hand. So I'm winning 4-0 on the Bifrost. Jesse's winning 3-0 on nowhere with the Sentinel. And Polaris and Agent Coulson, who you might not think of as enemies of the X-Men and Avengers, but they are, or they have been, are on Asteroid M.
Interesting.
And now do keep in mind that Coulson added some cards to my hand.
Oh, okay. Very duly noted.
So Mr. Sinister and his clone have arrived on the Bifrost, along with another Sentinel. And then at Asteroid M, Warpath appears, who has actually been more of an X-Men villain than an Avengers villain, but he was brought here by Coulson. So now the Bifrost shifted everybody to the right. So it's 0-0 on the Bifrost. Jesse's winning 7-4 on nowhere with a Sentinel and 2 Mr. Sinisters against the Collector. And I'm leading 14-8 on Asteroid M with Warpath and his bonus 5 points since I have an empty location and Agent Coulson against Jesse and against Polaris, not Jesse, and a Sentinel. Jesse hasn't had green hair in years.
I haven't had hair in years.
Green or otherwise.
You ready to get nuts?
Come on, let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
Ronan the Accuser on nowhere.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, Legion. Hey, everybody. Jesse Legion. So.
Surprise. All right.
Oh, well, if I do that.
So right now you have nobody's in the first. We got Asteroid M all over the place. All 3 locations. You've got the middle location 21-7, while I got a slim 15-14 lead on Asteroid M on the 3rd location.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do. Not quite sure what's going to happen here, but let's find out.
Okay.
I feel like snapping.
Oh my gosh. You had to do that now?
Yeah, it's a boomer snap.
That's a boomer snap, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Wasn't sure what to do.
Really doubt I'm going to win this. But here we go.
Always retreat. Okay, Maximus on the 3rd Asteroid M.
Maximus.
And the Absorbing Man.
What?
So adding a bunch of cards to Jesse's hand. Aha! I was confident the Absorbing Man would get taken away. He went to all 3 Asteroid M's, which means one of them's still empty. Oh!
Wait.
Okay, so Jesse played the Shadow King, which bumped the Collector back down to 2, but does not affect Ronan.
Oh, M'Baku!
Oh, there's M'Baku. Oh, hey! You were a little bit ahead of me on that one. If it makes you feel any better, I still would have won. Okay, here's what happened, folks.
Does not make me feel any better that you still would have won. No.
Okay, so Shadow King took Collector down to a 2, but didn't impact Ronan, and because Ronan's text, I think it's because of the text.
It is the text.
Anyway, okay, so that gave Jesse 9 at the middle asteroid M. I don't know, 2-0, 25-9, 20-18. There's a lot happening, and our time's running out for the next battle. Jesse won the asteroid M where I didn't have anything by simply dropping in Archangel. Yeah. Okay, well, I tried to stay on top of that one, and the important thing, folks, is that Jesse lost 4 cubes. Okay, yeah, that's all we really need to know.
Asteroid M made things crazy because it started yanking things like all over the place. That's why I love Legion.
Okay.
But yeah, you ended up winning that last location with 2 because M'Baku drove in there, but you would have won anyway when it came to down to a tie, which is what it would have been.
Okay, so we have Nova Roma and the Hood, a thorn in the side of the new Avengers for many moons. What that means. Okay, Jesse didn't play anything, so he's leading 0 to -3 on Nova Roma. The second location is Titan, which means 6 cost cards will cost 1 less. Turn 2, Jesse plays a Sentinel on Titan, where it comes face-to-face. Well, first a demon is on the unrevealed 3rd location, and then M'Baku gets played normally instead of jumping in.
There's M'Baku.
And the 3rd location is Castle Blackstone, and since I'm winning 6-0 there, I get +1 energy this turn.
Ooh, that'll help. That will help.
First, I'm going to do this. All right, the Juggernaut on Castle Blackstone, he would knock somebody away if there was anybody there. And then to help Jesse out, I sent the Hood over to his side in Nova Roma, where I'm leading 5 to -3. Jesse's leading Titan 3 to 2, and I'm leading Castle Blackstone 6 to 3. I have a lot of good options here.
I'm not pleased.
All right, turn 4, Maximus on Castle Blackstone. Jesse's got Omega Red on Titan, which gives him a +3 at each of the other locations. Okay, this is turn 5. I was thinking this was the last turn, but that's just because I keep getting that +1 energy because I'm still winning at Castle Blackstone. So it's 5-0. I'm winning at Nova Roma. Jesse's up 8-2 at Titan, and I'm up 12-6 at Castle Blackstone.
Castle Blackstone, giving you some energy, huh?
All right, Absorbing Man's going to borrow from Maximus and have Jesse draw 2 more cards, and then Nebula drops in on Titan. Oh, hey, look, Legion. Turned everything into Castle Blackstone. Oh, and that gives Jesse a lead there. So I'm winning 5-0 at the first Castle Blackstone, which gives me +1 energy. But Jesse's winning 8-7 and 13-12 at the other Castle Blackstones, giving him +2 energy.
I like it. I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. And
here we go.
See what happens. Okay. Onslaught and the Sentinel on the middle Castle Blackstone, where the Enchantress arrives to take out, Omega Red and Onslaught's ongoing abilities. And then Coulson at the other Castle Blackstone. So Jesse still keeps... Hey, once again, Jesse, even if I hadn't done that, we would have tied. Yeah, you actually would have won if I had an Enchantress to those guys. But instead it's 5 to -3 on the left, 18-12 Jesse in the middle, and 16-10 on the right. If only Omega Red's power hadn't been taken out.
Enchantress. All right, so how many cubes do I got left? 3?
You got 4 left.
4, okay.
You got 4 left. Enchantress, Classic Masters of Evil member.
Oh, heading to the Savage Land. I'm feeling at home.
There you go. We've both got Raptors.
At least been there before. I shouldn't say at home.
Okay, and Jesse has a Chibi Archangel.
Yeah, now, just to clarify, Archangel was a villain at one point.
Yeah, that's about the only version of Angel you could claim as a villain.
Right.
Yes, that is quite acceptable. Okay, the second location is Sinister London. Jesse won't get to clone Archangel there. 2-2 at the Savage Land, 2-0 at Sinister London, and 0-0 at the unrevealed 3rd location.
I don't know what this is going to do, but if it does something great.
Okay, the Beast.
Oh, dang it.
Okay, so Jesse played the Beast, who tossed Archangel back into his hand, and cloned the Beast, which is going to get blown up after this turn at Murder World.
Okay.
And I played the Collector at Sinister London, and another Collector appeared in the Savage Land.
A lot of my cards are not helping me when it comes to trying to keep my hand down, my hand size down at all. The Sentinels are not helping. Daggone it.
Oh, I wonder if I thought about that when I put Ronan on my Masters of Evil team.
You jerk.
Sentinels.
Jerk. Oh, Nebula.
Okay. And I put the Hood on Murder World. Jesse put Deadpool there, and everything got destroyed. And then Archangel dropped back into the Savage Land, and I have a Nebula on Sinister London and a Nebula on the Savage Land. Of course, that fills the Savage Land up for me.
We have 4. Okay.
So it's 6-4 at the Savage Land, 4-2 at Sinister London, and Murder World is back to 0-0.
I don't know how this is going to work. Dang, you got a really good bunch of cards there. Kind of upsets me a little bit.
You wanted to be mutants. You wanted to be X-villains. Okay.
There we
Coulson
go.
At Sinister
there
London.
we go.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Don't yank. Come on.
Okay, so Coulson at Sinister London, and then at Murder World, added 4 cards to my hand, so boosted my collectors by 4, and then Jesse played Polaris on Sinister London, yoinking the second collector to Sinister London and closing off that spot, and then promptly appearing in the Savage Land and yoinking him right back.
It's the stupidest thing. Come on.
I don't know. Do I want to do that?
Hey, it's turn 5. Can you guess what's happening?
Oh.
Just take a guess.
Guess what's happening.
Take a guess.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
No, don't guess.
It's Legion, so that means that there would be a space for Hobgoblin to jump over onto Sinister London and in Murder World. I'm going to go ahead and snap. Now, everything is Sinister London, although 2 of Jesse's are filled up. I'm winning 14-9 on the left Sinister London, 12-6 on the middle Sinister London, and 10-1 on the right Sinister London. Ah, you retreated.
There's nothing, not a single thing I could do there. Not a single thing.
Well, I was debating whether to play Hobgoblin on Sinister London because I'm like, he could play 2 cards there real quick, but then that would have filled it up, first of all. And then when you reminded me that you were playing Legion, which I should have known anyway, I was like, oh, well, there'll definitely be room for Hobgoblin to come visit.
Oh, man. You know,
not a traditional Avengers villain added by Coulson.
Okay, all right. Okay.
All right. Camp Lehigh. So we each get a 3-cost card that may or may not go with the theme of our decks.
No, it definitely does not.
Mine actually does.
Okay. Mine is definitely an X-Men ally.
They probably fought at some point anyway. Okay, I played Nebula on the Crimson Cosmos. I played Nebula on the unrevealed Sanctification, which was revealed to be the Crimson Cosmos, which is good because Nebula gets +2 every time somebody plays there, and you can't play cards that cost 1, 2, or 3 on the Crimson Cosmos. So Nebula should build up a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
So she's up to a 3. Collector on the unrevealed 3rd location. Chibi Archangel on Camp Lehigh. So 2-0 Jesse, then 3-0 and 2-0 me on the Eternity range, and after turn 3, a rock will be added to the losing player's side. So Jesse's about to get a rock.
I do not want a rock.
Okay. Coulson goes on to the Eternity range, which boosts Collector up by 2, and Polaris yoinks Nebula over, giving me an even bigger lead. So Jesse's up 2-0 on Camp Lehigh. We're tied 0-0 since Nebula left the Crimson Cosmos, and I'm leading 13-5 over Jesse, Polaris, and a rock. Yeah, I've never used this card before. Why not? Just to say I have.
Don't do it.
Dropped Call Obsidian onto the Eternity range. Jesse's got Omega Red on the Crimson Cosmos, giving him a +3 to the others, so he's winning 5-0 at Camp Lehigh, 5-0 at the Crimson Cosmos. And I'm squeaking by 25-8 at the Eternity range.
Squeaking by. Daggone it. Okay, let's see what happens here. I have a feeling it's not going to be something that I like.
I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Indecisive. Okay, I'll give that a shot. All right. A Sentinel.
Jesse's calling. Yeah, Jesse.
And Shauna the She-Devil on the Crimson Cosmos, which gives Jesse Ebony Maw at the Crimson Cosmos and an Angel at Eternity range. I have Black Swan. How did I get Black Swan? Oh, from Camp Lehigh. And Maximus on Camp Lehigh. So it's 11-11 there. 12-0 Jesse at the Crimson Cosmos. And 27-10 me at Eternity range. I'm feeling good. We'll just go ahead and snap. So this could be it.
I have not won a game.
I was just going to put Ronan on the Crimson Cosmos. That's all.
That's it? Is that all?
Oh, that actually... Oh, yeah, you had 7 cards in your hand. That probably would have worked pretty well.
Gosh,
okay.
Man. So, yeah, again, retreated there. I am down to 2 cubes to Evan, and I think it's probably about to get up to maximum.
I think
so. This is possibly last game for me unless I can make some kind of a weird, crazy comeback. And wow, I just got another ally for the X-Men.
Oh no, this guy has been an Avenger, has probably fought Avengers before, has been an X-Man, and has probably fought X-Men before from Camp Lehigh. Okay, and arriving at Camp Lehigh for Jesse is Deadpool, and I have Nebula at the second location, which is the throne room.
Powers doubled. Highest power doubled at the throne room.
And there's a Sentinel, an Alan Davis drawn Sentinel, no less.
That's correct, right.
Got the Collector at the third location, which is revealed to be Nova Roma, so we each draw a card, which sadly does not Collector's ability.
Give me every card that give me every card and every location that gives me cards, please, because he's got Ronan in his freaking hand.
In my deck, you don't know what's in my hand. What Ronan is. Okay, I'll send Jesse has Cable at Nova Roma, and I've got Deathlock at Camp Lehigh. That was my Camp Lehigh card, and I'm assuming Cable was yours.
Yes. 5-1 advantage for Evan at Camp Lehigh. We're tied at the throne room 6-6, and then Nova Roma 4-2 with Cable beating the Collector right now on my side. So I'm leading 4-2 there.
I don't know about this. Does Loki trigger the Collector anymore? I don't think he does.
No, as far as I understand, that is not a combo that works any longer.
That's a shame. Okay, well, then I'll just do this, even though it wastes some energy. Maximus in the throne room, and he doubles up, and Omega Red does not. So now it's 5-1 me at Camp Lehigh, 15-8 me at the throne room, and 4-2 Jesse at Nova Roma. Just in case, we'll have Enchantress take out Omega Red's ongoing ability. And M'Baku arrives at Camp Lehigh, and hey, there's Legion, making every room a throne room.
Every room is a throne room.
And that means Jesse is in the lead, even though I took out Omega Red's ability at the throne room, 22-14. I'm winning 12-1 at the throne room on the right, and Jesse is leading 8-2 at the throne room on the right. I said left. I mixed up my directions. Okay, so here we go. Do or die for Jesse.
None of this works. What is going on? No. Yes. Oh, I don't like this at all.
Juggernaut. Ooh.
Oh.
Interesting. Knocking somebody away from the throne room. Okay, then Ronan. Worked out. Okay, so the Juggernaut knocked the Hood away from the center throne room, which I was going to concede because I wasn't going to be able to win there. And he knocked him over to the throne room on the right, where I dropped Ronan, who got 15 that doubled to 30, and I had thrown the Hood in there to give me an extra card and a point for the Collector. So I won 12-1 at the throne room on the left. Jesse won 25-14 at the center throne room, and I won 30-8 at the throne room on the right.
Crap.
Yeah.
Okay, I am disgusted. I am disgusted. Just absolutely sick to my stomach.
Well, do you want to stew for a bit while I read out my deck, or would you like to reveal yours first?
No, please, absolutely go ahead and
maybe you can find some way that I bent the rules and lash out and direct your anger that way.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
First, we have the Hood, who annoyed and occasionally menaced the Avengers throughout Brian Michael Bendis' run, organizing the superpowered underworld of New York, and then when he lost his connection to Dormammu, stealing some Norn stones and trying to steal the Infinity Gauntlet. Nebula, who, if you know her from the MCU, is the prickly yet warm-hearted villain-turned-hero member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's mainly just a villain without much of a heart in the comics. M'Baku, lovable rogue in the Black Panther movies, originally was a character called Man-Ape, which for obvious reasons Marvel doesn't like to talk about anymore, but a member of the Lethal Legion, which was a group of Avengers foes organized by the Grim Reaper. The Collector, who I first met in the Avengers Assembled sourcebook with the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game, and he was listed as a villain in that section. I can't say I've read a lot of comics with him, but nevertheless. Maximus, who is more of a Fantastic Four villain, but I found a couple of examples of him fighting the Avengers, and name a member of the Fantastic Four who's not also a member of the Avengers. I'll wait. Medusa's the only one I can think of, and she was only a member for a few minutes. Oh, wait, also Ms. Thing And she. Okay, so there's a few, but most Fantastic Four members, especially the core four, are also Avengers members. Agent Coulson. Jesse was shocked and appalled that I would have him among the villains, but Jesse probably hasn't read much of Jason Aaron's run on Avengers when Coulson was, and I'm not sure why, a servant of Mephisto and actively plotting against the Avengers.
Wow. Okay.
Of course, that was after he got killed by Deadpool under the orders of an evil Captain America in the run-up to Secret Empire. So you might be a little mad, too.
Yes.
Okay, then we have Viper, leader of Hydra. Hydra and the Avengers never get along, which is fortunate so that I could send the hood over to Jesse's side. The Absorbing Man, frequent member of the Masters of Evil, foe of Thor, Hulk, and just about anybody else. The Enchantress, another charter member of the Masters of Evil. Loki, the villain who brought the Avengers together in the first place. Ronan the Accuser, who I also think of more as a Fantastic Four villain, but A, see my argument for Maximus, and B, the first time I met Ronan, just like the Collector, was in that Avengers role-playing game sourcebook. And then we have Ultron, an Avengers villain so classic that he got his own sequel subtitle. Though I didn't use him very much in this one, because I didn't have anybody to bonus up his Ultron version.
Man, oh man, I just got decimated. I would say a lot of that.
Which is what happened to the mutants after House of M.
Well, I could also say I was massacred.
Yeah.
Which happened to the mutants as well. But first up, Deadpool. Deadpool first appeared in New Mutants 98. That's right. From 1991. And I think he has a movie coming out this year that everybody's all excited about. But yes, he was originally introduced as a villain. He's the merc with a mouth. He was hired to do some shenanigans against the New Mutants. So he's run afoul of the mutants and X-Men, as if you will. Then we have
I read a guy who was commissioned to write an X-Force movie, originally had them on the run in the Southwest, and Deadpool was the main villain.
Oh, interesting. Next up was Angel. So Angel as the Archangel, by the way, which is after Apocalypse got a hold of Angel and turned him into War, if I remember correctly. Was he War or was he Death?
Death. The Angel of Death.
That's right. Stripped him of his feathery wings and then replaced him with these metallic wings that could shoot out razor sharp shards. One of the coolest transitions or transformations of a character, in my opinion. His transformation happened about shortly before I started getting into comics. So there you go. Beast. I made sure to clarify this with Evan before getting on here. I haven't read too much of the recent X-Men, but from what you've heard me and Evan talk about in the past, Beast's methodology has become definitely suspect and is a villain as well. Villainous ways, I would say. Mr. Sinister, if you were reading Inferno or anything that involved the mutants, X-Men, X-Factor in the late 80s, then you know who Mr. Sinister is. You've probably seen him. He's the pale guy with the diamond in his forehead. So Mr. Sinister had to be in here. Shadow King first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 117 from 1979. I could just recall him and Charles Xavier always. There was a big arc between those two, a big story. He and the ethereal plane, or maybe it's the astral plane, but either way, Shadow King had to be in there. Anyway, next up, the Sentinels, giant robotic enemies of the X-Men, mutant hunting robots. Then we have the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut, the stepbrother? Is he stepbrother or half-brother? Stepbrother?
Here, stepbrother! That was my imitation of the Juggernaut from the X-Men animated series.
Love it. Yeah. So you're always at odds with Charles Xavier. One of the cards that really I didn't get a chance to use very much, and that was Sabretooth. Sabretooth and Wolverine. My goodness. They have been at each other's throats since the early days of the X-Men. Polaris. So the X-Men books of the late 80s, early 90s, probably the early 90s, I remember them fighting Lorna Dane. And now I don't think she's like a mainstay villain, though. It sounds like she became a hero, and I think part of X Factor at one point, or maybe even the X-Men.
Well, she was an X-Man. She was one of the earliest recruits after the original 5.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure she fought him at some point.
Okay, then we have Omega Red. My goodness, Jim Lee. Remember the adjectiveless X-Men at that point? Man, Omega Red was a great villain. Legion. As a matter of fact, here shortly, Legion Quest is going to be something that Dean, Derry, and I have planned to cover here pretty soon. But yes, Legion he's a super uber powerful villain for the X-Men. And then, of course, Onslaught, oh boy, what if Charles Xavier was a really, really bad guy? Onslaught took the 90s by storm. So there you go. That was my deck.
Jesse, I'm sorry, most of those don't count because in the era of Krakoa, everybody got amnesty. Only the Sentinels and Onslaught were still bad guys.
Man,
I'm just giving you a hard time. But actually, yeah, Sinister eventually got kicked off the Quiet Council. Omega Red's a member of X-Force now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Sage felt sorry for him and was like, "Well, what if you could be a creepy serial killer, but like for good?" Really weird.
Yeah. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a battle for Evan's record books, I think. There, he just absolutely stomped me. I had no wins whatsoever. I should have took the Avengers. Thanks a lot for joining us. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the next installment of Snap Material.